That loss hurt so much yesterday that I knew I would need time to sleep it off before I can talk about what happened. Virginia Tech suffered the most painful defeat I've ever been through in 9 years since becoming a fan, after suffering a 38-35 loss to Liberty at home in Lane Stadium. Now, this is not an embarrassing loss like Old Dominion or James Madison. After all, Liberty came into this game as a top 25 team, so you have to give credit to Hugh Freeze for the program that he's building, regardless of whatever methods he's using to build it. The Hokies made a massive mistake at the end of the game, trying to ice the kicker on a 59-yard field goal. It took away an incredible moment of joy and bliss when we watched the Hokies return that blocked kick for a game-winning touchdown, only to get called back. And that's what makes yesterday so painful. That false moment of joy when it truly felt like Virginia Tech had won the game. Of course, the timeout was called. The Liberty kicker beat his career long by 17 yards, having only made a 42-yarder as his longest one previously, and just a massive mistake from the coaching staff. But I'm starting to believe that the Virginia Tech coaching staff is insane, because they're doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results, always running the ball on first and second down, just hoping for the best on third down. Hendon Hooker is a tremendous quarterback, and he is not being put in a position to succeed. Now, you can also mention, of course, too, that part of the reason why he's not being put in a position to succeed is because his two best offensive weapons were out yesterday, with Khalil Herbert and James Mitchell injured. So, of course, that has to be mentioned. The refs should not be put off the hook either. That call, whistling the play dead on Liberty's final offensive drive of the first half, blowing the play dead instead of rightfully allowing Virginia Tech to run the ball back for a touchdown and then review it. If there's any doubt that it was an incomplete pass, you have to let the play go on. So that call from the officials was simply inexcusable as well. But in terms of throughout the game, the painfulness of that really comes down to, more than anything, if we're talking about the experience as a whole, the recurring theme of failing to tackle. The tackling was the worst I've ever seen from Virginia Tech. It almost seemed like the first point of contact never brought the Liberty ball carrier down, and give great credit to Malik Willis on Liberty, really talented quarterback. I'm not sure if he's an NFL quarterback, but I think there's a place for him in the NFL, but who knows. But when you're without Mitchell and Herbert, and the Hokies wait until the end of the game to target big play Trey Turner, that's just yet another way Brad Coward Cornelson infuriates me. But I'm not going to let Justin Hamilton off the hook either. Yes, it's his first year as coach, but when the defense comes up with a performance like that, you have to wonder if he is not qualified and is in over his head. And as much as Virginia Tech wants to see Justin Fuente get fired, believe me, I do too, but it's not as bad as No Balls Brad, Coward Cornelson. We can't afford to fire Justin Fuente. We're stuck with him. So we don't get to live in this la-la land where we can root for Virginia Tech to lose just so Fuente gets fired. No, we're stuck with him regardless, because Virginia Tech cannot afford to pay his buyout. And this also goes back to the lack of support from the Virginia Tech alumni base. For too many years now, we've been expecting prime rib on a hot dog budget, and it's time for the Hokie Nation to step up and give to the Hokie Club. There has never been a more important time for Virginia Tech fans to help, because the program desperately needs change, and unfortunately, it could be a long time until we see it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please subscribe to my channel.